Shalom, shalom. First up, I want to give all praises to you. I was shy by Shimmer Kakadash. Give up on the apostles and Elevation Millstone. Also say shalom to all the Akima there for the truth and all true cities. Brother Tazman Kabar from the gym in Miami. The Herald of Yahushua 144 came back with another video through spirit. Lower than this insurance vehicle be edifying. Alright, lower than I titled this insurance video. Alright, you have been warned. Alright, this message goes out to the true people of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. Okay, what I mean, you have been warned. Once again, first and foremost, give all praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Kakadash. Alright, double honor to our apostles, elders, great millstone. Also, shalom to all the Akimon that preach the truth and our true city. Alright, once again, the message is you have been warned. Okay, alright, you have been warned of the set of perils. All right, the prophet's been, speaking up on what's said to come. Okay. All right, the prophets, the men's on the highways and byways, making these videos, who the Lord, officially had, set up to, warn our people. Okay, the true prophets that have, it's like, alarm just, cut off the video. But like I was saying, all right. The Lord has set up certain men to make warn to our people. All right. Then henceforth, that's all you have on the highways and byways. Us. All right. To give the alerts. All right. Because right now, or in the near future, I should say, things are going to get crazy. All right. Crazy as far as, for the sake of prophecy. All right. Scripture talk about, all right, pestilence, death, destruction. All right, you're not gonna be able to do what you want to do. You shall desire to go to the city, and you're not gonna be able to. Okay, famine of the word, famine of the food, food, water, just meaning like a scarcity of food or water, and these things are brewing up. Or as the Lord is setting up the scene, especially what's going on with the war and the Iran war. All right, lockdown 2.0. It's coming real soon. All right, under the umbrella of the energy crisis. Okay, you had C-19, which we had the first lockdown. All right, which that really was just a test run. All right, a little test run to see, Esau was doing the test run to see how the people will react. And really, majority of the people in the world, they fell into the hands of Esau, and they fell to his snare. All right, they fell right in his lap. All right, with this whole pestilence situation and laying out a solution, which was the yabby yap. Okay, and there's a similar situation. All right, that's being brewed up. All right, if you're peeping or if you're seeing what's going on. All right, which Esau is also using this as a snare. Okay, by once again putting out a problem. And soon eventually going to try to push out a solution. And right now, as he brew up this second lockdown, under the umbrellas, the energy crisis, where he's going to try to limit people from going out certain places, or is a time frame when you can do this, when you can do that, due to not having oil and gas and natural, these certain natural minerals or resources that's being shortage because of this war. He's going to soon try to implement a quote-unquote solution. All right, and these things are not only just hurting it's not hurting in the economy, but it's also, which I was gonna say the money system that's part of the economy, because a lot of these are driving prices up. All right, because really oil is really like a fundamental thing to a lot of things in our life. All right, when it comes to getting foods in the store, you need oil or gas to run the trucks to get the food, or you need oil or gas to get the fertilizers and stuff like that to plant the food. And not only just that, you need gas for certain things to bring all types of resources to the stores, and that's going to drive up the prices as the prices of oil and gas go up. So that is going to help worsen the economy as it is, and stir up inflation, and hurt the petrol dollar and all these certain things. All right, but soon eventually, okay, knowing Esau, he's going to use it to his advantage. All right, you know, they have that saying of not to let a good chaos or a good problem go to waste. So right now he's setting up the problem. All right, and eventually he's gonna try to implement a solution, and we believe through spirit. All right, it's gonna tie in with the CHIP or the MOTB. All right, he's gonna try to, you know, but hey, everything's going crazy right now. We have this solution. All right, you're gonna get your money. All right, you're gonna get what you need, your daily eating, your daily essentials, but you just gotta take the CHIP. All right, you're gonna get that universal base income, which they already been in talks. All right, Elon Musk is all for that. All right, henceforth he's already in the frame of the, you know, the CHIP with the Neuralink thing. All right, so he's already in that, you know, that zone of trying to implement that onto the mass, you know, population. But seeing how Esau is slowly but surely connecting, you know, certain things, okay? But it's all for the sake of prophecy, and you have been warned. And eventually, you know, Jacob's going to have to own up to that, all right? They're going to have to own up to a prophet being among them, all right? You know, we always on the highs and byways in the videos, or, you know, on the social medias, YouTube, you know, Instagram, somebody's on Instagram, posting clips, and TikTok's posting clips, and all these other platforms warning about the set of perils and what this man has in store. All right, and they're gonna assume, which they're already seeing it right now, saying, "Oh, these Hebrew Israelites were right," and this is really, all right. You know, this whole situation is really remembering, you know, it's not remembering, it's not the word. It's reminding us of the situation back then with the C-19. All right, a lot of people was coming to their senses like, damn, these Hebrew, these Israelites were right. The black Hebrew Israelite, which is not a color, it's not a black thing, okay? All right, our people are different shades of color, man. All right, it's all through the spirit, all right? Just say the spirit bearing witness, okay? But people are, you know, was in that spirit in the C-19, oh, they were right. Then shit got back to quote unquote normal and it died down. But as shit is starting to hit the fan again, and, you know, really Jacob's trouble is intensifying, because we are in the midst of Jacob's trouble. These certain people, or really Jake, are starting to flock back into that same spirit. Like, damn, these people were right. Damn, these couple years, like, this shit was like 2020, right? Damn, I mean, I was acknowledging them, but shit got known, so I was like, fuck them. But we in 2026, third month, and shit, man, it seemed like that same feeling is coming back again. Man, these Israelites, man, it's, you know, they right again. All right, the prophets, people gotta assume the knowledge that the prophet was among them, and a lot of people are getting back into that same spirit. Okay, are these seeing things get worse? And really, the reason why, like similar situation in C-19, the reason why people were or are acknowledging us is because a lot of these problems are here at home. Okay, a lot of these problems are here at home. Are people seeing the gas truly, you know, increase? Okay, people seeing things are really getting expensive. People are seeing, certain problems happen in the United States. That's when they're acknowledging us. Okay, yeah, you know, gas is constantly on the rise. Things are constantly getting expensive. Attacks in fucking Texas with the oil refinery. People thinking, people, you know, is saying that it was, you know, inside job. Okay, what else? And it goes, and it's a bunch of other things, but people are getting to that spirit again. All right, and it's really all the spirit probably out about Shema Shai. The Lord showing forth his power, because, you know, Jay like to trying to turn back to the Lord when shit really start hitting home. All right, I like to give Jake a term. All right, deathbed ass niggas. You know, when people on the deathbed, that's when they want to acknowledge God. God, please help me. I'm sorry. You know, but you know, and that's what it's looking like. All right, shit hasn't, you know, got bad yet. You know, it's gonna soon get bad. And if they put it in movies, one good movie of the Leave the World Behind, that was made by a former president. All right, Barack Obama. Okay, that should be a red flag. All right. Oh, another thing too. I was talking, relating back to the shortage of the oil and the gas. Or that's really gonna affect the grid. All right, we were talking about the energy crisis earlier. All right, that's gonna soon, all right, affect the grid. All right, that they're not getting that certain resources that they need to run. All right, which that's gonna soon lead to blackout. All right, we about to enter the summer. All right, summer gets hot. All right, summer gets hot. A lot of people use a lot of electricity and energy to keep cool, and that's a well-known time to where there's a lot of blackouts and stuff like that. So don't be surprised, rolling blackouts come to summertime. Our hell break loose. That's another thing. Lord willing, or sooner if possible. All right, but because we understand the Lord is going to keep us, but these things have to play out. That's we talk about how the Lord is going to send plagues, upon Egypt. All right, this is modern day Egypt. Why? Because this is our land, the land we are captive. All right, we was captive, Egypt prior to the past, but this is a spiritual Egypt. Okay. All right, so one of the plagues back then was no no lights, blackout type scenarios. All right, and that's gonna soon come. All right, because this oil and gas situation ties into that too. So that's soon to come, and you have been warned. All right, but we understand the man of the Lord, all right, they're gonna be straight through spirit by y'all bashing outside with the Lord keeping us. All right, so y'all, I forgot to mention that. All right, and once Jake see that, they can't turn on a switch. And they definitely gonna acknowledge the men of the Lord. Okay, they're gonna try to flock into us. All right, but you know how it go. But Lord, this video is edifying. First and foremost, give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Kakadash, and give double honor to our apostles, the other great millstone. Also say shalom to Ada Akim, their preacher's truth, and our truth city. I'm saying, Shalom.